Hello, and welcome to the FastForwardAmy show, the show where we talk about how you can live your life and business with simple strategies. I'm FastForwardAmy, your host and coach, and I'll bring you a new episode every Tuesday. Scaling your business. Everyone wants it, but almost no one talks about it. So in today's episode, we're not really gonna go into the nitty-gritty of all of that, but I'm gonna give you some practical examples and tips of how you can start scaling your business once you've set up some stuff. Now let's look at where you are starting first and where we can go from there. Today I'm also gonna highlight some examples from my birthday sale I did a while back, because my birthday is February 1st. Write that down for the future. And that's how I'm just gonna give you some tips and pointers so that you can start getting triggered and can start looking at how you can start scaling your offer, scaling your business. This is episode 70. And I made this for my current clients who are joining the Boss Up mentorship or who have joined the Boss Up mentorship. If you don't know what that is probably because it's a program exclusively for my Business Freedom Elevator graduates. But if you are a current coachee, feel free to go and check it out or ask our team for information. As I said, this is episode 70, so that means that you can find all of the written information from this episode, some visuals, some resources through fastforwardamy.com/70. And I've made a little something special for you. Namely, I made a 7-figure organization guide. If you don't know what a 7-figure something is, 7 figures means a million or more. 7 figures, 0000001. 1 million is 7 figures. And online, there's a lot of talk about building a 6-figure business, building a 7-figure business. And I'm assuming as you want to scale and are listening to this episode that you are interested in leveling up to a multiple 6-figure or a 7-figure business. So I would recommend you go and grab our organization guide, because I know organization might not sound sexy to you unless you're a notebook lover like I am, but the guide is actually, it contains some of the things we have learned last year in building and scaling our business. And I've included this matrix that I've made custom based on the departments and the cycles and the phases we go through in our business. And I hope it will help you to level up your business too and to scale upwards if you're looking to start building a team, start outsourcing, start making more money, leveling up, whatever. Definitely go and grab that guide. You can grab it through the link in the description or by going to fastforwardamy.com/7-figure organization. Okay, so let's get started. We want to scale your business. That means we're going into scale up mode. I'm not talking about big businesses, the typical stuff that's talked about in business environments. My coaching and my experience comes from my own degree, my own years of experience, my own experience as a 7-figure and 6-figure business owner, and from coaching hundreds and thousands of clients towards building their 6-figure and 7-figure business. That means that in the beginning, we all start somewhere. And 60% of us, we start with a service. 40% of us, we start with a physical product. Wherever you're at right now, make sure that, for starters, your business is running. Like, if your business isn't running yet, it's probably more appropriate for you to first go back in time to some previous episodes. But you can still listen to this episode to get it to trigger you for what is possible in the future. What I wanted to say is, I hope your business is set up and that you are already doing better than break even, namely you're turning a profit, and that you have some time left over in your business so that you can start working on scaling. Now, my guess is you don't have time left over, because who the fuck does have time left over? Not a lot of people. We are all overworked. Almost everyone has too little time in a day and too little, or like not enough hours in a day, not enough days in a week. If you feel like that, know that it's gonna take, in order to scale, it's gonna take a little bit of effort for you to take a step back in order to take 10 steps forward. And it might feel like taking 5 steps back in order to take 10 steps forward, but know that afterwards you can get 100 steps forward. That's what it means to scale. Scaling is not just building it upwards. It's really like going for that hockey stick figure in your profits that you can really start having a lot more from putting in the same effort. That is the definition of scalability. So for the time being, if you are saying, okay, Amy, I am booked with clients, I am packed with orders. Let's say you have a service-based business. You're probably in the situation where you're like, hey, Amy, I'm fully booked. I'm really happy, but I'm overworked. We're turning a really good profit in our, psychologist's office. But all of our hours are booked. So we're hitting the same ceiling every month. Sometimes we have a little less good months. Sometimes we don't have enough spots for our clients. So we skip lunch to give them our lunch spot for an hour consult. And we are stuck where we're at. This is a plateau we can't break through. That's one situation. The other situation is maybe you have products, maybe you make them yourself, maybe you package them yourself, maybe you do everything in your web shop by yourself. A product is in and of itself scalable, but if you're doing everything yourself, you're still trading your time for money. So for both of those, I want to say, consider taking a step back in revenue or in profit in order to make some space for you to start working on your scalability, because that strategy is something you will probably have to do. So that means right now, if you are the person from the first example and you have a lot of clients, you're fully booked, but you don't have any time left to work on your business, know that you need to make time for that right now. That means I would suggest you block off your mornings and you just reduce the hours you are seeing clients. The best way to do that is to adjust your digital calendar and just position it as the truth for your clients and just say, like, from next month onwards, those are the new slots and there is less time. Maybe put a client stop on your clients, maybe raise your own prices. If you also have employees, for example, or other psychologists in your office who work at a lower rate, whatever. If the demand is too high and you don't have enough to offer people, then it's time to switch something there. Same goes for your products. If you are currently doing everything yourself and that is your bottleneck, look for a fulfillment center that is going to help you to scale. Look for someone else to package your products. Look for more outsourcing in all the day-to-day stuff. I'm sure that there is a lot you don't have to do and that is not uniquely you. That is the first step. Your core offer needs to be profitable and you need to reduce a little bit of your time investment so that we can work on your scalability. Know that in order to do that, yes, it will probably mean taking a step back, either in having less revenue or increasing your costs so that you free up time. It's great to buy back time with money, by the way. That's amazing. That's definitely something we want to do so that we can make space to create more. That's the first step. Just like baseline, we need to have our costs covered. We need to have some profit so that we can now start working on the rest. So we need to look at having a scalable offer, because that's the first thing you need in order to scale. A scalable offer means something that when you sell more of it, your costs don't necessarily go up with it. So if you trade your hour, like you're trading your time for money, that is not scalable, because you can't keep scaling because there's only 24 hours in a day and you couldn't be selling all of your 24 hours in every day, right? You could never go over 24 hours either because there's a limit. So it's in and of itself not scalable. So a physical product is scalable because you can outsource the production of that and there can be as many as you want. There might be an exception where you're like, oh, but I hand paint everything. Remember that even, I think it's Rubens, famous Belgian painter, he had students who painted most of his paintings and he would just like educate them and help them make it and do some finishing touches or whatever. I don't know a lot of his history. I think I was like 10 years old when we visited his house in Antwerp, so it's been a long time. That made a really big impression on me, by the way, that house. Definitely a must-see if you're ever in Antwerp. So even if you are making your products yourself, if you're now the person who's listening like, no, Amy, you stupid head, I can't scale because I make my products myself. Well, then stop listening. I only want you to listen to this episode if you want to open yourself up to how is this possible for me? What is possible for me? And not if you're just going to think like, I can't do that. Because that's not going to work. Scaling requires strategy, insight, and it requires looking at what can be and not at how was it done in the past, okay? So either you have a physical product that is in and of itself scalable because you can make as many as you want most of the time. You can have a digital product like an ebook, a course, a group program that's very scalable. For example, I used to run a mastermind and there was a limit for that amount of interaction at 30 people. I turn it into a bigger group program that is infinitely scalable as long as I make sure I have enough support coaches and all of that. So it can be that you're like, I have a semi-scalable offer, like a group program, which is totally fine. It's still more scalable than one-on-one, for example. One-on-one or 1 to 20 is already more scalable, times 20. Digital product could also be that you have people working for you who offer the service. So think of the painters, think of running a social media agency where you have many people doing social media for your clients and you just are the funnel. You find the clients and other people execute for you. So there's very broad ways of scaling, and I'm going to use a digital product like a course as an example because obviously I coach a lot about online business and I have this example worked out that we can use for this. So we are going to look at how can you scale your business, first up by looking for a scalable product, scalable offer. Make sure you have the time to work on that. And my guess is you're probably going to go for like an ebook or something. I love courses. And I would recommend you go for a course, especially if you have a service that you're offering. I would look at what do clients usually come in for and how can you help them with those basic steps that you go through with most clients. It is easiest, by the way, to go from one-on-one coaching to a group program to then building a course all around the same subject because you will have gathered a lot of experience in it. So that's, for me, a perfect flow. I learn a lot from working with my clients one-on-one, then doing it in a group format because I can anticipate what they need. And once I've really nailed down the group format, I know that I can create a killer course on something and just sell it because the course will be streamlined and will anticipate the needs of the students who go through it at their own pace because the modules will be set up in exactly the right way. The more people you've coached, obviously, the easier that will become to create that happy flow. Now, let's take an example. You're gonna create a course. I'm thinking, what can we take as an example? Let's take a money mindset course because I want to create a money mindset course. I want it to be like a mini course. I want it to be something that helps people to level up their money mindset so that they can think more abundantly, that they are better with money, spending money, attracting money, and that it will also get them ready to make bigger investments in my programs because I hope they will come in through the money mindset course and then buy more from me if they are happy. Now, if we look at that and if we want to scale, we basically have two options in order to scale. Once we have the scalable offer and it works, we look at it as being a funnel. If you looked at episode, I think it was episode 64, we talked about sales funnels more in depth. So definitely go and check that out. But we look at that as being something like this. Traffic comes in here and the sale happens here. So I look at it as being a bunch of puppets here. And then here is like the dollar sign, the euro sign, the conversion happens here. What happens in that funnel is all of the things that lead towards people eventually buying and buying more and more. Now, either we optimize what happens here in that engine that leads to the conversions so that we can sell more, or we will increase our traffic so that if we are selling it here at 2% of what comes in here, if this turns into more, well, if 2% stays 2%, we're still selling more. If there's 100 people coming through the door and we sell 2%, we sell to 2 people. If there's 200 people coming through the door, we sell to 4 people. So either we increase our traffic or we increase the conversions, the conversion percentage actually. And I want to use my birthday sale as an example because I thought that would be fun. So my birthday sale is something I call flash cash. My birthday is February 1st. And if you followed me for a while, you know that I don't often sell low ticket products. So that means I am not actively selling 27, 50 euro products. I will focus a lot on my business coaching programs, like the Business Freedom Elevator, like my Boss Up Mentorship. Those are programs that only start at 2,000 euros and upwards. So for me, when I look at my lower ticket pricing, it's more of a strategy where I want to get people through the door for the first time so that they have a pleasant experience, so that they want to buy more. We've seen that 50% of our Business Freedom Elevator students who joined last summer 50% of those students was already a client in one of our smaller courses. What we did is we looked at in which courses were they enrolled, because then we know which smaller courses to sell, because we know a percentage of those people will then be a perfect fit and convert into the Business Freedom Elevator. It's really nice to look at those stats, and that's something I want to do with you. Now, when you're starting out, that's difficult, but I remember when I did my first webinars, for example, I would take note of how many people signed up to watch the webinar, how many people actually attended, how many people actually bought during the webinar, all of that. Those are stats. And every time you do something again and again, you can gather those stats and you can look at, is there something always happening the same way? So for us, we had this average conversion percentage, for example. That conversion percentage can be dependent on a lot of things. Did you use slides? Did you not use slides? How is the mood? If there are more people in the webinar, is the conversion percentage lower? Stuff like that. You can learn a lot from it. And what I want to do today is I want to look at that funnel. By the way, if you are listening to me on the podcast, you're not watching me on YouTube, then know that I'm just like creating a triangle with my arms. And on the left side, well, the traffic is coming in, and on the right side, they are converted into buyers, which is a funnel. So if we want to first, so a lot of people actually spend a lot of time on their traffic first. They're like, oh, let's play around on social media and let's build a following. And they forget to convert their followers into customers. We don't want to do that. Ideally, we make sure our engine, our conversion engine works while also making sure that we are building our traffic. Once we know that it works, once we know like, hey, if 10 people walk in, 1 person buys, we know we have a conversion, it works. Statistically, it would be more valid if you could do this, like, if you can multiply this and it would still work, like bigger data is a bigger proof of how it works and that it works. But I'm a big fan of like, you only need to sell 1 in order to know that it works. And then you just know that you need to add fuel to the fire. So make sure your engine works while you are also building your traffic. That's important. And now I want to look at the different things that I did, for example, during the birthday sale, to optimize that and give you some tips, because you want to scale. And that means that either you need more traffic or you need to increase your conversions or optimize your conversions. So last year on my birthday, we did our birthday sale for the first time and we sold our mini courses. So I have some mini courses and usually they range between 50 to 80 euros, for example. And on my birthday, I was turning 27 last year and I thought, oh, it would be nice to offer all of them at 27 euros. I'm usually not a big fan of big discounting, but for my birthday, I thought that is a nice thing to do. And I also had 3 mini courses on sale for 72 euros, which was the opposite, and everything was available for 72 hours. I thought that was a nice touch to the sale. So last year, I had a blast doing that. I didn't plan it. I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to do this. I put it online. It sold really well. I learned on the first day that people weren't adding the codes correctly to Shopify. So then I changed the prices instead of working with discount codes. I increased the sales the next day. And then the last day, like everything went really well last year. And I know that we made 2,300 euros that weekend. And I was really surprised because obviously compared to a mastermind registration or a business freedom elevator, which costs a minimum of 2,000 euros, that is not a lot. Like not a lot at all. But it is a lot of fun. And it is a lot of fun if you look at the customer lifetime value of that they will return and be a customer later. There wasn't really any strategy for me behind it. I just thought it was fun to test my flash cash strategies, how I teach it to my clients. Like sometimes you can do a Black Friday sale, a birthday sale, an Easter sale. Those are like flash cash moments, stuff like that. So looking at those moments when you can make quick cash, I noticed that with this year's birthday sale, I put a bit more thought in it and a bit more strategy, and I had delegated everything to do for that sale. We did my birthday sale the day after closing my my business freedom elevator launch. So it was a very busy time in our email list and on social media. And then all of a sudden we had a new launch. So that was like not ideal, but I thought it would be nice to offer to people who weren't able to get into the business freedom elevator yet, or who weren't ready for it, to offer them the option to purchase a business bundle. So we created the birthday business bundle. So compared to last year, we looked at Well, we have more mini courses and we can create a bigger bundle. So last year we had 27 euro products and a 72 bundle product. And this year we had 28 euro products and a 250 euro bundle. And the goal there was to increase our average order value. Now, the average order value has nothing to do with the traffic. It has to do with the other side of this weird triangle funnel thing I'm doing with my arms. Namely that if the same amount of people reach checkout, but some of those will just choose a higher priced product, well, then we will make more money. Because if we had 100 people in traffic and 2 people convert, and if we have 2 people converting at 50 euros, or 1 person converting at 50 euros and 1 person converting at 250 euros, then we have a higher average order value. So what that turned into for this launch, by the way, so there wasn't a lot of strategy behind this. I'm actually doing this analysis after we did it because I just did it like feelings wise. I delegated it to my team. We were just like, we'll just post it online and see what happens and we will always learn from what happens. So last year we did 2,300 euros in sales. Now we did 10,400 euros in sales. So that's like times 4. Now it was actually 10,900, but I took a screenshot before we finished it. So it's like times 4 times 5 is what we did. So what happened is our average order value last year was 47 euros and this year it was 67 euros. So that's almost 20 euros more on average for any type of customer. So taking that, nothing changed on a traffic side of our funnel. We still made sure that we made more money because we scaled the price or the average order value of what was happening. So definitely when you are scaling, a really easy way to scale is to just make sure that you are offering more expensive products so that you can increase your average order value. That's a great way to scale your revenue. It could also be that you offer more at checkout, upsells, downsells, whatever, so that you can make sure that the people who are in your funnel do convert or convert to more at the end. But your cost per acquisition, I don't know if that's the right way I'm saying this, but kind of stays the same because you're not getting more people through your funnel per se. You're just making sure they convert at a higher price on average. So that's what we're doing. And what else did we do this year? So we're looking at our funnel, right? We did higher sales. So that was the end result this year. We looked at our total conversion rate. Last year it was 13%. This year it was only 9%. So there was a lower conversion percentage. So that was apparently if we look at the funnel and what we want to optimize, we didn't optimize. We actually did the opposite. We disoptimized, we negatized. I don't know if there's a word. That's the opposites of optimizing, because that doesn't say anything for me, the negative way of optimizing. Anyways, I only saw this the last day because I was actually on a vacation. I didn't check anything. We missed a lot of quality control in the business. Sometimes we wing stuff. I know. What a riot. You didn't expect that, but we wing a lot more than you think, and we test out a lot, and that's how we learn really fast. What happened is the main product that was linked in our emails went to a page where there was a page without text. It was just a checkout button. So we didn't have anything resembling a sales page. It was a glitch in our system. No one caught it on time. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons our conversion percentage went down, because it was difficult to find what you needed. And when you were where you needed to be, you didn't get the information you needed. So that's probably a big reason why the conversion percentage went down. What do I want to say by that is, how could we increase that conversion percentage in our funnel and scale our business further is by tweaking landing pages, tweaking text, tweaking copywriting. For example, you can have a sales page with text only, or you can have a sales page with text and with videos and with great branding and where all the buttons are optimized and with a mobile friendly display. You can probably easily triple your sales or 10 times your sales with a great sales page. I do believe you first need to know, is your offer converting? But once it's converting, you can start tweaking, and video is something that will easily optimize how much you are selling. Same way goes for if you're looking at your funnel and you have a lot of pages people need to click through, you can easily optimize your conversions and scale your business further by tweaking all of those steps and making sure there are less so-called doors that people need to walk through, making it easier for people to complete their purchase, hooking people in better. So videos, landing pages, split testing your landing page, for example, is also great to do. Same goes for your emails. Let's say you have people on your waitlist. That's the traffic that came in. You want to convert them to your offer. You're selling straight from email. Split test your emails. Split testing your emails has to do with your subject line. So for example, it's called A/B testing often. So sometimes in emails, you know how hard it is to decide on a subject line to send out to your email list, and you're like, oh, I don't know which one they're gonna click open. I recommend always writing out 30 subject lines for your email. A lot of people tend to spend a lot of time on writing their email and then just like as an afterthought create a subject line. But the subject line is key for people to open or not open your email. So what you can do is, I think you can write like option A and option B for your subject line, and your email service provider will send it out to 20% of your target audience for that email. And after 4 hours, they will have seen like, oh, that subject line did better, and send out the best performing subject line to the other 80% of people. Split testing emails, split testing your landing pages, it all has to do just like looking at what is converting best. We did the same in our launch recently where we had buttons throughout our page, but people went to checkout easily, but weren't hooked as deep as when they read the entire sales page. So we can split test, for example, a page with a lot of buttons or a page with buttons lower on the page. Stuff like that. Webinars also have different styles of conversions. Like you can look at, hey, what works best if I go live on Instagram, or and like how many people are watching, or if I have people sign up for a webinar and maybe less people attend, but more people will convert. It's all about the numbers. That all those tweaks, I tend to compare it to being in a cockpit of a plane, and you have all of these buttons, and some buttons you've never even pushed, you've never even thought about. That might be video for your marketing. Other buttons you've turned on, like you've been sending out emails, but the emails weren't written in great copy. The emails didn't have buttons, the emails didn't have branding, the emails didn't have layout. So what can you do to optimize everything that you have put in place? That's scaling on one end. On the other end, we also have everything scaling wise that has to do with just like how can you get more traffic, like ads, more social media platforms, referrals, affiliates. Basically, sell the same stuff to a lot more people and have them convert at about the same percentage. So important here is to just know your data. So for me, it really helped. I made this for my Instagram stories recently, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna put this side by side because I don't think a lot of people do this, and I don't think a lot of people realize how valuable it is to learn from your own behavior and from your clients' behavior. So we 4 times our sales, but our conversion went down 5%. So what happened that we still did so many more sales? Well, we had a longer sales time. That's something I never used to do. I used to do like really short sales, and now I've learned like the more time I have, the more I sell. So I will prefer longer launch times, longer sales times now. Last year, we had 300 sessions in the shop during those 3 days. Now we had 1,600 sessions in the shop during those 8 days. We also saw a huge bump on the first day. We sent out an email, and on the last day, we also sent out an email. In the middle, there was a lull. The lull could be because it was the middle of the sale, or because we didn't send anything out. So getting more traffic to the shop, it came from our own existing audience, like from our Instagram and from our email list, but we could have also added our Facebook group, our Facebook page to it. I could have used my LinkedIn page. The fun thing about this, the fun thing about being in that cockpit of your sales is that, sounds really dirty that I keep saying cockpit, but I'm going with it. The fun part about being in that cockpit is I don't believe you've seen all the buttons yet. And I believe you have a lot of buttons that are on that you haven't turned on, like they're glowing, but you haven't even turned on the buttons. And every time after a launch, I'm like amazed at how much we did wrong or we didn't optimize, and how much we were still able to accomplish, and how much room there is left for improvement. And a lot of people will be like, oh, I didn't do that. Oh, I suck. But look at it. Whoa, what a bunch of opportunities of things we could still do in the future and keep evolving. So maybe next year I will 10 times the birthday launch because I learned a lot from writing all of this down this time. So you can tweak a lot. In the end, we ended up selling to 3 times as many people as last year, but we 4 times our sales. That in and of itself tells you that we had a higher average order value. In order to scale, you don't always need to sell to more people. Often you just need to sell more to the same people. And that's something I highly advocate. I have no idea how long I've been talking right now. I'm looking at my team to tell me. Okay, I've been talking for a while. I hope this was interesting, actually. I hope this kind of just triggered you to look at what you can scale. Maybe right now you're saying, well, Amy, I wasn't in a scaling phase yet, but I want more clients, and I'm going to use these tricks, these tweaks to just get more sales through the door to get my hours booked out. Or maybe you're in that phase to scale and you are now inspired because you know there are so many buttons you can still turn. So you're going to take that step back in your business, create more time to work on your business in order to scale. If there is one recommendation I can make for you is never wait to create your first digital product. I waited for way too long. I waited for way too long to build my email list. I was so focused on my traffic and building up an Instagram name that I forgot to send people to my email list to offer them something because I kept waiting to know everything to create my first digital product, whereas I should have just solved one problem with one digital product and not been such a perfectionist. So I thought building up tens of thousands of Instagram followers, like I'll send them to my email list later when I'm ready to work on my email list. But you know what? After all that while, you can't necessarily reach everyone when they're not new on your account anymore. So I prefer working on your engine and working on your traffic at the same time, making sure your engine, your conversions work well enough, make sure you have evidence that it works, and then keep tweaking. And don't be a perfectionist, just keep tweaking. Adjust a button, increase 10% here, increase 10% there, make that better, add something, delete something, and then keep building up your audience. You want to make sure your pipeline converts, but also that your pipeline is continuously filled with new prospects and new potential clients. I hope this was interesting. And if this triggered you to focus more on scaling, I am thinking you need some organizational help to scale your business, and that it would be wonderful if you would go and grab the 7-figure organization guide. I created this especially for people who want to scale to upwards million or millions of dollars. I don't know if that was correct. Businesses, like a multiple $1 million business, $1 million business, a multiple 6-figure business. If you are saying, hey, Amy, I want to scale, I'm done doing everything myself. I am both the housekeeper, the secretary, the mailman, and head coach in my business, and I've had it. Then I would recommend you go and grab that organization guide, because it's going to help you to start outsourcing, to build a team, to automate in your business. You don't have to build a team if you don't want to, but go and grab it, because it took me so long to figure that out. If I would have had that guide at the beginning of the year before I started hiring people, wow, that would have made a big difference. So the link is fastforwardamy.com/7-figure organization. And this was episode 70, all about scaling your business, with some inside information about our birthday business sale. I hope you liked it. Come back next week, Tuesday, for a new episode all about improving your sales, attracting more leads. This was the Fast Forward Amy show. Come and tag me on FastForwardAmy on Instagram if you like this episode, and talk to you next week.